Okay, y'all. Tonight, newly elected President Biden just thanked specifically black people for having his back in his acceptance speech, for having his back and voting for him and standing by him. He thanked us, and he said he will have our back. So that brought me to the mind of Ice Cube. Ice Cube, we got to get on him. Time to get to the plan, Ice Cube. Time to contact the Democrats. Time to contact the president and let him know and address this plan, the Contract with Black America plan. It's time to take the Contract with Black America plan to the president, to the White House. Since Joe Biden said he will have our backs, now it's time to show and prove. Now it's time for him to put his money where his mouth is, right? So this is the Contract with Black America right here. After 400 years of unequal treatment, black Americans have had enough with gradual reform in the nation. And I'm gonna link this website in the description so you can look at the Black Contract with Black America plan yourself. While well-intentioned solutions may have been tried, it is simply too much to ask an oppressed people to stay patient, to finally create the more perfect union all Americans deserve. It is time for a complete paradigm shift in how we run our institutions and operate our country. While this contract with Black America may seem radical to some, the result will be a harmonious society that benefits everyone, rather than the more radical alternative, which is watching the great American experiment come apart at the seams. The problems facing America are too deep and wide to simply reform one area or another. Long-lasting solutions demand a comprehensive, thorough rethink of America so that each new approach in each area supports the success of the others. And let me just say this. The government of the United States need to repent for the sins that they put on black people. And this needs to be addressed to Biden. The American government needs to repent for the sins and for the breaking of contracts that they promised black people and then that they promised the Native Americans. They need to repent for those sins and pay those contracts, live up to the contracts that they broke, live up to the sins that they put on us. Live up to the sins that they perpetrated on other races. How they took advantage of black people in particular. For 400 years, they need to pay that debt. America needs to pay that debt. We wouldn't have all the troubles. Black America wouldn't have the trouble that they have if it wasn't for the American government victimizing us, if it wasn't for them enslaving us, if it wasn't for them disenfranchising us, if it wasn't for them targeting us, you know, all of these things that they've did to us, a great crime. They've done a great disservice to black people in this country, and they need to pay. And this contract with Black America is a way for them to pay. It may not be enough, but at least it can be an acknowledgement of the sin that they have put on us. You know, because we wouldn't have gangs if we had an equal share in America. There wouldn't be gangs, there wouldn't be hoods, there wouldn't be projects if we had an equal share in America. Like I said before, they built the projects, they built the hoods and throwed us in them. They built the poverty and put us in poverty. They built that, they did that. And then they wonder why there's so much gang violence, there's so much shootings in Chicago, the youth, that a lot of the urban youth is violent. They wonder why. They've done that to us. They got to recognize what they've done. You can't go into a project and tell people to straighten up when you the cause of it in the first place. You know, these people are damaged. Generations through generations of people are damaged. You know, poverty generational poverty. You know, so we need a big hand. The hand that you use to destroy black people, you need to use that same hand to uplift black people. You need to use that same hand to bless black people. So this plan is a start, and it is fair. And I thank Ice Cube for coming up with it. Him and the other people, him and others who took their time out to come up with this, man. It's actually great. So the problems facing America are too deep and wide to simply reform one area or another. Long-lasting solutions demand a comprehensive, thorough rethink of America so that each new approach in each area supports the success of the others. This contract with Black America will provide conceptual approaches in several areas, including addressing black opportunity and representation, bank lending and finance reform, judicial and public policy reform, expansion of the 13th Amendment rights, police reform, reform in Hollywood, and an approach to our Confederate past. You need to put reparations in there too. It will then present more. Bank lending. I mean, bank lending is good, but a lot of us don't need to be in more debt. You know. It will then present more in-depth proposals showing how these guiding principles can be put into action, first through a plan for neo-reconstruction, followed by the America's Job Pact, AJP, a plan that addresses jobs and education. Representation. Black opportunity and representation, the case for neo-reconstruction. Oh yeah. Also get rid of that damn three strikes law. Also change the judicial system needs to be turned on its head. You know, the case for Neo-Reconstruction. Neo-Reconstruction is an aggressive initiative meant to redress past wrongs systematically imposed on black Americans economically throughout many generations. Wrongs that have a severe negative impact on African Americans both economically and educationally. The specific case and plan for Neo-Reconstruction is presented later in the document. A commission will immediately be formed and empowered to quickly put the plan into action. Separately, a plan will also be advised to make Native Americans whole within the same timeline. Black Americans will be compensated for the value of work contributed by their ancestors, while Native Americans will get back the true value or land promised to them in various treaties. For Black Americans to be eligible, they must provide documentation proving their descent from at least one enslaved person. Damn. They must also prove they have identified as Black or African American for at least 10 years prior to the institution of the reparations program. I don't know how the hell Black Americans gonna prove documentation proving their descent from at least one enslaved person. I don't know how they gonna prove that. Affirmative action for all secondary schools, colleges, and universities, public and private. Black enrollment must meet or exceed. Let me see. The percentage of the black population nationwide. In addition, if the black population in the county the school is located in is greater than 13.4%, the enrollment must be increased to that higher percentage. However, 25% black enrollment will satisfy the county requirement if the school can prove they are national. Just a lot of stuff in here, man. You know, massive bank lending and finance reform. You got the judicial reform. That's cool. That's good. I'm not going to read through all this. Y'all can read it. Constitutional amendment codifying expansion, police reform, entertainment reform. I chuckle because, Cube is in that, I mean, he put his own interest right here. Entertainment industry, monuments and institutions. Eliminate all Confederate statues rather than destroy them. They are to be kept by National Archives, Smithsonian Institute. Okay. They are to be used only in displays and exhibits designed to investigate our racist past. Black responsibility. Black America. Chronic poverty creates an atmosphere full of negativity, frustration, and hopelessness. Depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, crime, and violence. These are some of conditions that plague the black community, which is dealing with extreme generational Yep, that's what I said in the beginning. I'm glad they're addressing this. As we begin to gain social and economic equality, it is our duty to clean up ourselves and our community. This contract is a two-way street as we gain social and economic equality. Yeah, I know some of us are just way gone in a negative cycle, way gone in a negative mind state. It's going to take generations to overcome that. Economics, education. According to the real estate app Refton, African American families have lost out on at least $212,000 in personal wealth over the last 40 years because their home was redlined. The results of these policies leaving African American families with 10% of the net wealth of white families. So you got white. Look at this. Now this is what I did something like this years ago where I talked about this. Medium household wealth, $171,000 white. Hispanic, $20,000. Black, $17,000. The wealth gap is ridiculous, man. Wow. We never did get our 40 acres and a mule. You know, when Lincoln freed the slaves, we was promised 40 acres and a mule. We never got it. Not everybody. Compensation for lost wages. Yeah, but I don't have to read everything in here. That's going to be a long video. But y'all check this Contract with America. Contract with Black America plan, man. And yeah, now Cube. Now, Joe Biden told you to wait till after the election. Okay. Now the election is over. Now it's time to take the plan to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I'm looking forward to seeing that, you know. What will they do about this plan? It's going to be very interesting. Peace out.